Educational inequity in Sierra Leone is no secret to all of us. We know how our children in the rural communities are deprived of quality education because trained and qualified teachers shy away to teach in remote and deprived communities where the luxuries and comfort in towns and cities are not available. Policy action and governmental frameworks are mostly hatched to improve the lives of citizens. Educational frameworks that engender national progress focus on making education affordable, accessible, and of quality. Their outcomes can be measured or evaluated by analytical facts to help governments tighten loose ends, suppress disinformation, enhance transparency, and foster citizens' trust in participating in government's key sectoral plans and objectives. At Teach for Sierra Leone, we are committed to providing quality and equitable education to all children in Sierra Leone, especially those in underserved rural areas. This resonates with the clarion call of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 4, Universal Access to Education, Agenda 2063 of the African Union, and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Though the Education Act of 2004 makes education a right for every child in Sierra Leone and compulsory, graphic data or statistics from the education sector, Analysis 2020 show that children out of school were estimated at 524,000 between the ages of 6 and 18. Official school age population for primary and secondary. The Education Sector Analysis 2020 claims more than 4 million people in Sierra Leone live below the poverty line, with rural households bearing the brunt. The probability of accessing primary education is slightly higher for boys than girls, but retention, completion, and transition rates from primary to junior and senior secondary school are lower for girls. It is against this brief background that Teach for Sierra Leone, a leadership development organization, came into existence, with envisioned that one day every child in Sierra Leone will be able to access world-class education, which will enable them to achieve their full potential, regardless of their socio-economic background, geographical location, or gender. These are issues of concern, and Teach for Sierra Leone exists to provide working solutions to some of these four stated problems. Today we are here to share with you our journey so far, as we are here to teach, lead, and impact the lives of kids in rural Sierra Leone. In tackling the aforementioned educational issues, Teach for Sierra Leone undertakes a rigorous recruitment process to get the most promising graduates and young professionals to teach and lead in those underserved rural communities. To achieve this, the organization recruits, assesses, matriculates, trains, and places Sierra Leone's most promising future leaders from diverse academic backgrounds and career interests to commit to teach in Sierra Leone's most high-need schools and rural communities for a minimum of 2 years. To recruit these young graduates and professionals, we had an online recruitment in 2020, which attracted about 2,006 applicants, of which only 10% were invited to our assessment center. Our assessment center is consummate. We pride ourselves in having a very demanding and robust assessment that featured seasoned and well-trained assessors. 5 main assessment activities are normally done: written exercise, group work, model lessons, one-on-one interview to test their key competency, knowledge, skills, and more so fit to our vision and mission. We matriculate all assessed fellows, giving them further insights about the TFSL model, their roles and responsibilities, and orienting them about the Pre-Service Training Institute. This is also the period when fellows come along with their support persons. The TFSL program also involves a very intensive 5 weeks Pre-Service Training Institute covering 14 hours a day, 98 hours a week, and nearly 500 hours in 5 weeks. People never believed it was going to be possible, but we did it. In that institute, we covered 60 modules on the 5 thematic areas, which are commitment to the vision and mission of TFSL, teaching foundations, personal leadership development, cohort and community culture, and cross-cutting issues that affect or impact education. During the training institute, fellows are given a week to practicalize what they've learned during the training before their final written assessment. This happens within the training environment. Pre-placement is done to provide an opportunity to the fellows to experience the lived realities of the rural communities. Our organization has already sent its first cohort of 82 fellows to 5 districts, where they are already teaching pupils in classes 3 and 5. These classes were specifically chosen because they are crucial to the educational development of the child. Most of these fellows are first-class graduates from the different universities in Sierra Leone, and this is unprecedented because it has never been heard of that graduates have gone to teach in primary schools, worse still in remote rural communities. The placement districts are Potloko, Bombali, Moyamba, Falaba, and Koinadugu. The choice of these placement districts is based on the poor levels of achievements against the national averages in a range of indicators in the education sector. Our success stories. We launched our first recruitment that attracted over 2,000 graduates who want to give back to the society. We hosted a groundbreaking assessment center with only 10% of 2,000 applicants that were put forward. Successfully, we trained our first set of 100 graduates in a 5-week residential pre-service training institute. Now we have about 82 graduates serving in deprived and underprivileged rural communities in Sierra Leone. Our presence is now felt in 5 districts in Sierra Leone: Bombali, Falaba, Koinadugu, Moyamba, and Potloko. We are now being considered as a key stakeholder in the education sector. We are the first to set a precedent to have graduates from universities to teach in primary schools in Sierra Leone. Our fellows are placed in some of the worst terrains in Sierra Leone where trained and qualified teachers are frowning to go. To the farthest in Falaba district is Syria, which is just 5 miles to the border between Sierra Leone and Guinea. We have some selfless fellows that are making impact in that community. They have been faced with several challenges since we placed them there, but they have been sailing through. Our impact stories. In Senahum, a village in Moyamba district, our fellows were able to rescue a group of girls taken for traditional initiation practices during the school period. In Syria, a village in Falaba district, our fellows also intervened and rescued a 13-year-old girl from traditional marriage. In Bonganima, a village in Moyambe district, 2 of our fellows have initiated a school feeding program for about 250 pupils in their placement school. In our placement communities, fellows are demonstrating their philanthropic gesture in providing uniforms, backpacks, shoes, books, pencils, and even lunch money for pupils from their stipends. Now, one of our fellows is the Secretary General for the Sierra Leone Teachers Union in his placement district. This shows that our work is being recognized. We are soliciting support from you because you are passionate about education in rural Sierra Leone and wish to help to restore this country to its lost educational glory. Placing graduates to teach in primary schools is unprecedented in this country. Teach for Sierra Leone deems this as the basis of a strong foundation. Soon, teachers will also be trained in early childhood education, and all of these require a huge financial support. The cost of recruiting, training, and upkeeping one fellow through the 2-year program is between 50 million leones to 80 million leones, depending on the location. Let's take for an instance the cost of living in Syria, Mongo, Bendugu, Yifin, and Kumala, all in Falaba and Koinadugu districts. A bundle of water that is purchased at 3,500 in Freetown is sold at 10,000 or up to 15,000 leones in these areas. Not to talk about charging phones or lying on the proper mattress. These are the sacrifices that these young and dynamic graduates have made to give up all their comfort to serve others for the next 2 years. Currently, we have launched our second call for 150 fellows, which gives more young people access to full-time leadership engagement and professional development. To be sustainable, we are required to locally fundraise about 50% of our annual budget. And there is no better time to do this than now. We thank you for your attention and we thank you for your support.